All right, so now we're going to talk about how to control bleeding. So my daughter Micah again here is going to pretend like she has a cut on her ankle, and I'm going to help her control the bleeding. So first of all, if you're with someone who is bleeding, if they can treat themselves and you don't have to touch them at all, that is the best. So if we were in this situation, Micah could easily control her own bleeding by applying pressure to the cut. So you can use anything that's clean or as clean as possible to put pressure on that. If you have a first aid kit, you can use gauze, or you can use a washcloth, paper towel, Kleenex, a jacket, anything you have around to put pressure on that. Great, so go ahead and do that, and then just press really hard. If it's bleeding so much that it soaks through the whatever you put on there, do not take this one off and replace it. Just put another one right over the top of it. So again, you want to have them do that for themselves. Okay, it's very tempting to play peekaboo with a cut, to say, oh, has it stopped? And then people will peek. And every time you do that, you're actually pulling off the clot that you have created. So just leave it on there. And again, if it soaks through, just keep putting things on top. All right. If Micah were too scared to control her own bleeding, or maybe she also hit her head and she's kind of out of it, or for whatever reason she could not control the bleeding herself, yes, I would need to step in. If possible, you want to use protection for yourself. We've been hearing a lot in the news about PPE, and that is personal protective equipment, and gloves are part of that. So this is where you would want to use personal protective equipment. A lot of first aid kits have gloves, so if you have gloves, you can go ahead and put those on. And then you're just going to do the exact same thing. When we're using gloves, this is called using universal precautions. And it's universal because we do it for everybody. And what it means is that we assume everybody has something that we don't want, and we have something that they don't want. So the gloves protect me from getting into contact with any of her fluids, and they protect her from getting in contact with any of my fluids. Okay? And then again, if it soaks through, I'm just going to put more on top. All right? I know that this is an emergency when blood is spurting out. Okay? That means that an artery has been cut, and that's a 911 call. Okay? If you are doing this and you are totally unable to control the bleeding, and you can get in the car and go to the emergency room or urgent care, great. But definitely if it's spurting, you want to call 911. Okay? When you're done with your gloves, you want to take them off carefully so that you don't contaminate anything else. So you're going to take it by the wrist, go here, take one off, crumple it up in the hand, and then put your finger underneath. Oh, thanks for zooming in. Under here, so you're not touching the outside. And then everything is on the inside, and you can throw it in the trash.